You are listening to the Coach's Corner on KYNT. Now, let's go to the voice of the Yankton Bucks and Gazelles, Bryce Ladwig.
Good morning. This is the Coach's Corner and our video debut on KYN TV. Thank you for joining us. Bryce Ladwig here, and we'll start things off as we always try to do with Yankton High School Activities Director Ryan Moores. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bryce. How you doing?
I am doing excellent. Sad thing about our Twins last night.
Boy, that was a tough loss to swallow. Agreed. Yep.
It's always this time of the year in the pennant race where, I mean, every game matters, obviously, mathematically, but
correct.
These are the games that matter.
September baseball is a big deal. I guess it's better to be competitive and playing baseball that's meaningful in September than the opposite.
Yeah,
so
we've had plenty of those opposites the last few years.
Absolutely.
Ryan, fall sports are well underway, and open-ended question, but it's kind of how's it going on the administrative side, and how are the kids feeling? This is about week 3 or 4 of activities really being in full swing.
Yeah, some of our programs started practicing on August 1st, so we've been hard at things for over a month now, and you kind of look at like a soccer schedule, for example. We're kind of at the midway point already, which is just a head scratcher to think, we just started school 2 weeks ago and we're already midway through the soccer season. The cheer and dance girls started practicing a month ago. Their actual competitions wait a little bit longer to get going, just obviously because of the tactics and skill and safety involved with cheer and dance. But no, we're off to a great start at Yankton High School. And as always, August, September, and October are extremely busy because of all the activities we have to offer to our kids.
Now, there's been a new face walking around Crane when I've been there and other places, I'm sure. But Jeff Gross, obviously, I'll let you just tell everyone who he is again. Maybe they weren't at the fall banquet when you last kind of talked about it. But who's Jeff Gross? What's he doing? And what's he doing with you in the activities department?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Kindle and the school board for being open-minded to allowing me to have somebody to give me a hand in our activities. Jeff Gross was hired as a teacher, first and foremost, at Yankton High School in the language arts department. And he's also a former track coach and winner and in Pierre and in Mitchell. Won a couple state titles actually out in Pierre. And, all the dominoes just kind of fell into place with Jeff. We had a head track opening and we had a language arts opening, and Dr. Kindle and the board offered to give me an activity supervisor to give me a little help, especially during the fall and winter when the sports are, I can't be multiple places at once, obviously. So
you've tried.
I've tried, but it's, it's not physically possible. So Jeff has stepped into that role as teacher and eventually track coach. But as of right now, he's activity supervisor, and the way his schedule works, he's got the last period of the day as a planning period. So he can come over to, Crane or whatever we're doing activity wise and give me a hand. And as we get going in here into September, there's going to be lots of occasions where there's, for example, a home volleyball game over at the high school and a home soccer game over here at Crane. So situations like that. And, when there's also home volleyball and perhaps maybe a JV football game at home or a freshman football game, it's nice to have a second set of hands to help out. So really excited to have Jeff on the staff, and he's going to be very helpful to me, has been already, and will continue to do so as we move on through the school year.
Well, one thing that's always fascinated me, I asked you last year, the year prior, I'm going to ask you next year again, but with Crane and the amount of activities that go through there between Yankton High School and Mount Marty, is that schedule, how far in advance is that schedule template kind of laid out as far as practices, games, and who's going to be using it and when? Because that field is being used every day.
Yeah, it's 7 days a week. There's no doubt. So as soon as the South Dakota High School Activities Association gives us our football schedule, that's first and foremost what we get plugged in. And then the second thing I'd get is Mount Marty's football schedule. And then we put that little piece of the puzzle together to make sure we don't have any conflicts. One interesting conflict that came about this year, which is actually, it worked out really cool in the long run. So the Yankton marching band has their March to the Meridian. It's on Saturday in October. And forgive me, I don't have my calendar right in front of me. It's like, I believe it's October 7th or 8th. It's a Saturday. Well, typically, as we all know, Mount Marty plays football on Saturday afternoons. Well, that particular day, the way the schedule gods line things up, Mount Marty was scheduled to be home for a football game. Marching band activity competition was at Crane all day. And we also had the potential of 2 home soccer games for playoffs, depending on how things worked out. So I saw that early, about a year and a half ago, had a conversation with Andy Bernardo over Mount Marty. We talked with GPAC commissioner to get them involved. And I believe Dort is the school that Mount Marty is playing that day. So I asked the South Dakota High School Activities Association, can you please give Yankton High School football a road game that weekend so we can make this work? So ultimately what happened that weekend is we moved Mount Marty to a Friday night football game, and we can have our marching band competition and potentially soccer playoff games all day. And then just ironically, the South Dakota High School Activities Association scheduled us at Sioux Falls Roosevelt that weekend. And as you guys realize, there's Washington, Lincoln, Roosevelt, Jefferson, 4 different schools using Howard Wood. So very often the Sioux Falls schools have to play some games on Saturday. So why it worked out so cool for us is that Mount Marty is going to have a home football game at Crane on Friday night, and the Yankton Bucks are going to have a road football game on a Saturday evening, and it all worked out really well. So that's just one small example of how busy it is over there at Crane. But yeah, some of that scheduling, Bryce, goes out probably a year, maybe even 2 in advance to try to make sure we find conflicts like that and figure out a way to work through them.
And while I do appreciate that it worked out, it's just I'm still gonna be out of sorts on Friday night at Crane. When
You're gonna be all backwards.
I'm gonna be helping with Mount Marty, but I'm just gonna feel weird the entire time. Be like, it's just wrong. But
Mm-hmm.
you know what? It works out. It works out. And you're right. The whole thing with Sioux Falls and scheduling at least 1 11 AAA opponent each year. How long will that be going on? Do you know?
That's a good question. It just depends on ultimately what happens with the growth in and around the Sioux Falls area, because T, as we know, is an 11 AA football team, but T currently for this school year and next school year is still a Class A school for basketball and volleyball. They missed the cutoff just literally by a handful of students. They're well over that number now. So, as we get down the reclassification here in a couple of years, it depends how T continues to grow and evolve, how long they spend in AA and go to AAA. And, Harrisburg is knocking on the door on having to make a huge decision about, are we going to build a second high school in Harrisburg, or are we going to become the largest high school in South Dakota? So, I wish I had those answers, but the dynamics continue to change just because the Sioux Falls metro area continues to grow so much.
Okay, so I'm sorry to harp on these questions because I know you don't have these answers or a math sheet in front of you, but if Harrisburg would have to split, in just top of your head opinion, do you think they would become like 2 11A schools, or would they still be AA, AAA? How do you think that would have to work?
Well, it'd be interesting because, as you know, they're dual members of the Metro Conference and the ESD Conference. And, of course, everybody in the Metro Conference is a AAA size school. Mathematically, I don't know where their numbers are exactly, but there is a possibility that if you split it right down the middle, they could be an 11 AA, 2 11 AA schools for perhaps a window of time. And just like they were an 11 AA school in football here several years ago, only for a small window of time. And they went through that in a hurry. And now they're obviously a AAA school and a powerhouse there. So definitely it could happen where if Harrisburg has 2 high schools, you could see 2 AA size schools eventually, or, depending how they divide their schools up, maybe they keep one at the AAA and they actually have one at Class A. I just don't know how they're going to build the school and what their dynamics are, but it'll be interesting because that area is certainly not going to stop growing. And as they continue to evolve, there's going to be bigger schools in that area, and they're going to, eventually there's going to be more of them. It's just going to be a matter of how long before that happens.
For one of the least populated states in the country, how it all works out, I don't know the term for it would be, is just very interesting.
Population density, I think,
Yes.
might be the word we're looking for. The Sioux Falls Metro is so populated that it's, if you look at all the schools that are there, even some of the outreaching schools with how Sioux Falls continues to grow in different directions, it could eventually pull some other schools into, being a AAA or a AA size school eventually. And then, of course, you have Rapid at the other end of the state. That's the other kind of large metro, so to speak, area in South Dakota. So yeah, geographically it's very spread out, but with population density, the biggest 2 cities obviously make things very interesting and very, very intriguing on how to try to schedule all these things.
All right, we haven't gotten one in a while. I'd like a Matthew Moore's update.
Matthew is obviously, for those people who haven't heard or didn't know that, he's an SDSU Jackrabbit, transferred from Wisconsin there at the end of the school year. They started basketball this summer at the Division I basketball programs. As many of you, everybody realizes, it's a full year round job. And, so he was there all the month of June and July with basketball work. And SDSU, as do all Division I colleges, take a international foreign trip once every 4 years. And this happened to be the summer that SDSU's trip came about. So the Jackrabbits went to the Bahamas the first week of August. And basically what that means is you get to play 2 exhibition games against a couple international teams. So they played the Egyptian national team and another team from the Bahamas in the Bahamas. And so it was really good. So we had a great summer of getting himself acclimated to a new campus, new teammates, new coaches. Absolutely loved it. Went to the Bahamas, had a great showing there and played really well. And obviously he's looking forward to Jackrabbit basketball here in November, as are we. And, he's proud to be representing South Dakota on his chest. And we're really looking forward to seeing that happen.
Well, I'm looking forward to supporting him as well. Give him my best and our best here from KYNT. And Ryan, as always, thanks for joining us here on the Coach's Corner.
All right, Bryce, thanks for having me, and keep up the good work.
All right, appreciate it. That was Ryan Moores, Yankton High School Activities Director. We'll take a break, come back, and we'll talk about Yankton football with that 38-0 victory last night over Spearfish.
In the lab or up on stage, Mount Marty University has a place for you. From athletes and artists to academics and alumni, together we cheer each other on and work to make a difference in the lives of those around us. Show your spirit at a university that celebrates what makes us different. Schedule a tour at Mount Marty University by visiting mountmarty.edu or calling 605-668-1545.
It's time for a new kind of credit card, one that's with you where you are, wherever life leads. The Evergreen Credit Card by F&BO earns you unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase, every day, every step of the way. For important information and limitations regarding the rewards program, visit fnbo.com/evergreen for complete details. From the great big small bank, ever ready for you to earn more so you can do more. Only with Evergreen by FNBO. Learn more today at fnbo.com/evergreen.
The treatment of eye diseases and injuries requires the best technology, along with the newest surgical techniques. So turn to the experts from Avera Medical Group Wilcoxon Eye Associates in Yankton. We are on the forefront of eye care that will allow you to see clearly and with more comfort. Schedule an appointment with us or learn more by visiting avera.org/Wilcoxon.
Are you looking to get your career moving? Then Truxedo Bed Covers is looking for you. Truxedo of Yankton has immediate openings for first, second, and third shifts and offers weekly pay, full benefits package with paid time off, paid holidays, a team-oriented atmosphere, climate-controlled work environment, and pay starting at $19.75 an hour. If you're ready to join the Truxedo team, visit truxedo.com/careers and apply today. Truxedo is a real truck company and equal opportunity employer.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner this Saturday morning. Bryce Ladwig here on 0 hours of sleep, as are pretty much all the coaches, I'm sure, coming back from Spearfish. But at least it was a victory, coaches. Welcome.
Yeah, nice to see you this morning.
Yep, bright and early. Bright and early. I am going to go to bed after this, though. So I have a whole plan worked out with Katie, all about, I call it my exit plan.
There you go. That's a good plan to have.
38-0 victory over Spearfish last night. Kind of a choppy start to the game with penalties, kind of the momentum. While it was a nice victory overall, just from the media perspective, it just seemed to be a lot of momentum of start, stop, start, stop.
Yeah, and those are things we got to get cleaned up. You know, we talked to the guys before the game about playing championship level football, and you can't have that many penalties. You just can't. Like you said, it just kills the drive, or it makes it harder to sustain drives. And I know penalties happen, and so we got called for a couple holdings there that we got to get cleaned up. But the big thing is how do people respond after they're put in a tight spot? And I think the 2nd and 41 is a good example of our guys are always going to come out swinging. And so I was happy to see while I want the penalties cleaned up, I was happy to see the response.
Yeah, on the defensive side of that, it was on film you don't really see tempo. Like we came out and they're going up tempo. They're trying to get it going, which kind of took us off guard there for a little bit as we're getting plays in and whatever. So once our kids got comfortable with that, then I felt the defense started clicking a little bit more, and we got by. The first drive we stopped them and we got out of it, but then we made some adjustments as far as play calls and tried to get them in a little bit quicker to adjust to their tempo. And after that, I thought the defense played pretty well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Seth Hamilton, a junior, I believe, right? And obviously very raw, but he could be a very good quarterback for them into next year.
They've got Spearfish is not short on athletes. And that's part of it too. Part of that slow starter, sometimes part of the reasons you have penalties is because, I know Dominic Antrobus got stuck in a spot where there was a guy that was a little bit smaller than him. They put him in for pass rush and Dom got stuck hanging on to him. Those types of things. When you have athletes, they're going to put you in those spots where sometimes you might have to do some things out of the norm or maybe outside the the rule book a little bit, and we got caught for it a couple times. Like I said, those are things that are going to get cleaned up. And to be totally honest with you, holding penalties and pass interference and those types of things, while you want those to get, cleaned up and you don't want to have those, it is part of the game. And so, we're we're not going to sit on the sideline and yell at kids, hey, stop holding. I mean, they're not trying to hold. And so the things we do got to get cleaned up, though, are the unsportsmanlike and the personal fouls and things like that. And that's squarely on my shoulders. And so, that's something we'll for sure get cleaned up here right away this morning.
Matthew Sheldon was clipped pretty hard near the end of the game. Very scary moment. Walked off with a little assistance. Is it too early to give any update on him?
Yeah, probably too early. Shelley took a pretty good hit there, and I thought the officials did a good job of administering it. I mean, the one thing, if football is going to stick around, the one thing we have to do is we've got to make it safer. And unfortunately, plays like that happen. I know he was feeling okay as he left last night, but we'll see him today and talk with him today and see where he's at. So, I mean, while it was a real vicious hit, we still got to monitor, the one thing I do appreciate about how the game of football has changed and what is really starting to make this sport better is just the approach to that. If you talk to Coach Olson or myself or guys that played, previously you get your bell rung a little bit, you shake it off and you get back in. And we don't do that anymore because player safety is paramount. And so a lot of precautionary things last night just to make sure Shelley's safe and healthy, but we'll see where he's at.
And Coach Olson, the defense last night, nice job getting into the backfield again. It seems like there's been getting pressure into the backfield from places that usually you wouldn't, right? From straight on the line. Is it just that 3-3 set that you're running, or?
Yeah, this is something that new that we're basically predicated to what we have as far as athletes, and I've always been a believer of a multi-front defense, and last night, we're running we called it our cheetah package, and then we ran another package out there in the second half as well. So just trying to keep the offense off guard, and really happy with the pressure. We had a couple injuries this week in practice, so we had some new guys in there. Not necessarily new guys, but some new guys that haven't played entire game. Vaden Greel got in there and got his first start, and I thought he did a really nice job. Then the other guys, first start for Tyson Prouty as well. He did a great job. And then we got Peyton Eustace back, and so those three working together did a pretty good job. There's still some learning to do. We're trying to clean that up too as well. So it might have looked okay, to someone just watching, but we still have a lot of work to do. There's some things that technique wise and scheme wise that could clean up, but overall, the kids are flying around again. We created turnovers. I got a couple sacks and some interceptions, and that's something last year that we were craving for a little bit more of, and this year we're off to a good start. So, real happy with what we have going on thus far.
Well, obviously the coaches are the experts on this subject, but it seems like Lucas Kampshoff, such an athlete. It's really nice to see him in kind of that hybrid role, getting some knockdowns, really causing some frustration in the secondary. Right.
And that's a point of emphasis this year that, Coach Muth, it came to the coaching staff, say, hey, we need to figure out how we're going to get Lucas Kampshoff on the field. We have dudes all over the place. And so we got to get our best guys on there. So even before that conversation, we're like, I was taking a look at this 3-3 defense, and, we're just like, oh, wow. Okay. So let's plug in Lucas over here. And, our only thing was, can the guy hit? Is he going to come up and make a tackle? And the past 2 games, he's proven that he's not afraid to come up and get involved in the run fit. And then he does a whale of a job. He's just a very intelligent kid and long arms. Holy cow! And so that contributes to what happened last night with some bat downs. And so looking forward to him to continue his defensive development as well.
The passing or rushing ratio was virtually very even last night. Was that something that was adjusted to, or you kind of plan that?
We don't really look at that, when people talk about, a lot of people talk about balance, 50% run, 50% pass. We don't really look at balance that way. The way we look at balance offensively is who's getting how many touches. And so that's where we try to find balance. So, I think our guys upstairs and Coach Huber do a really good job of making sure that everybody's getting the ball spread around. It doesn't, when you call a pass play, the quarterback is the one who gets to decide where the ball goes. But we do such a good job of spreading the ball around. I think it makes it really difficult, to try to decide who you're going to let beat you. You can't really, I know Cody garners a lot of attention and Tyler garners a lot of attention. And then you've got Austin Goebel, who can blow the top right off of defense, and a big body like Tucker Gilmore, who's great in space and does good things. And so that's how we look at balance. If it ends up 50-50, that's just by pure happenstance. It's not something we scheme for.
Well, what I do know is that Gavin Swanson is a beast.
Yeah.
And the bowling ball did it again last night, just over 90 yards rushing. And the thing that impresses me the most about it is he's that running back that he can break off for 20 yards. We've seen it and stuff, but he's always going to get you like 5 every time.
Yeah, he's an angry man. Gavin, I know there was a big play where a safety came up to put a pretty big hit on him. And I think Swanee gave just as good as he got there. And then you can see the synchronicity there between an offensive coordinator and his running back and his running game. And right after that play, Coach Huber dialed up and, a gap dive I think Swanee wanted to get a couple more shots in. And I think, Coach Huber understands and has a really good feel for the guys on offense and gave him a run right back in a gap and let him, kind of hit somebody. But Swanee's a lot of fun to be around. I know if he was sitting here right now, he's upset that he didn't get over 100 yards, but he's going to get there.
And obviously there's runners we could go through this all morning, but we just got done with the same trip. But I will say that Shaler Platt, though, a great second option as well.
Yeah, it's Shaler Platt and then also Evan Sirk. Yeah. I mean, Sirk's a guy, and again, this is one thing I love about our program and our athletic department in general is just how well everybody works together. In the track season, you could see Swanee and Shaler and Sirk. Kind of had those guys pegged as kind of our running back stable there. And you could see all three of those guys progressively getting faster through the track season. So we were pretty excited with what we were going to have. Shaler gets limited touches just because he's starting on defense, but he is a great, he gives Swanee a breather. They're kind of the same back. I would, as hard as it is to tackle Gavin Swanson, I don't think I'd like to try to tackle Shaler Platt either.
Run with the high knee.
Yeah,
they both run angry.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah. And then Sirk is just so the thing with Sirk is he can get up to top speed like that, and he doesn't take much room for him to get free. And then once he does, good luck, you got to catch him. And so we've got a really good group of running backs there. And then the other thing that is nice, and this is something that we did scheme a little bit more towards, was Rugby getting a little bit more involved in the run game. That just helps open up things a lot more for our running attack. As far, if you just have one guy and you're just turning around and handing it to that guy over and over again, and you don't have a counter to it, Rugby's that counter. And so I think he was up over 90 yards again last night too, or close to. Yep. And so, I just, when you have those things going, it really makes things a lot easier for our offensive line and in the run game.
Well, first home game of the season this coming Friday, Watertown comes to town. Finally, we get to go to Crane. How is the schedule any different really between away games versus home games as far as what you implement when you install stuff? And is it pretty much the same?
It's all the same.
Yeah. That doesn't matter where we treat every game like it's I think Coach mentioned before, like it's our championship game, and that's our mentality. We have that bred into the guys, and even though we had a little bit of a rocky start at this one, we're coming home to the greatest fans in the state, I feel. And, I came from another program that had a great tradition too. And I love it. This is definitely a football town, and coming back to Crane, these kids are excited. The coaches are excited. And I feel, just talking to the people in the community, they're excited that we finally get a home game.
Yeah.
And so it'll be fun.
Well, Coach Smoot, Coach Olson, congratulations again. 2-0 on the season to start. It's a great start. And go get some sleep, some rest, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. A lot of college football today as well.
Yeah, no sleep. Beat Watertown.
There you go.
That's what I love to hear. Thanks, coaches. All right, we're going to take a break, come back, and continue talking Yankton at Bucks football.
The warmer months can be wonderful times that allow for plenty of fun outdoors. However, while you may be enjoying the outside time, pests and insects may be trying to find their way inside. Eliminating a pest infestation and ensuring they don't return can be tough to do on your own. But with Olson's Pest Technicians by your side, you can rest assured you're fully protected. Locally owned and operated since 1966, Olson's Pest Technicians provides reliable pest control services to residential and commercial properties. Visit 800KILBugs.com.
Think about how people really see you. The kid at the drive-thru just sees a coffee drinker.
Please move forward.
Your local barista sees the person who loves a smiley face in their latte.
See you next time.
It's kind of the same way with insurance. Other insurance companies just see a customer, but a State Farm agent sees more. They see you as a neighbor. Your State Farm agent is here to get to know who you really are so they can help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Rhonda Westland at 665-4411 today to learn more.
As a proud community bank, Core Trust delivers more than just checking and savings accounts. We invest in the cities and towns where we live and work by volunteering to coach youth sports teams, supporting local charities and the arts with our time and resources. Whether we live in a rural town in South Dakota or a suburban city in Minnesota, it's a place we call home. Core Trust Bank. Raise your expectations.
Member FDIC.
Do you have dry, sore, or irritated eyes? If so, you may have dry eye. At Vision Care Associates, we offer a simple, fast, and non-surgical procedure to treat black glands in your eyelids that can help your eyes to feel comfortable again. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Fieser to find out about dry eye treatment with our newest technology.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
And welcome back to the Coaches Corner. Bryce Ladwig here. We have talked to Ryan Moores, Yankton High School Activities Director. We've also talked to Coach Moose and Olson, Yankton Bucks football. We'll continue to talk Yankton Bucks football, 38-0 victory over Spearfish last night, and being joined by Coach Terry Huber and Coach Brandon Colpitz. Coaches, I told Moose and Olson that last night it just seemed like it was very start-stop, at least start the game.
Yep.
And how much is that contributed to the trip? And you try to stretch out the legs and stuff, but you are still traveling 6 hours across the state. And then how much of it is just sometimes it happens.
Yeah, I think offensively we were definitely a lot of start-stop, but a lot of those were kind of we need to make sure that we're just controlling the controllables and not worrying as much about the uncontrollables. And I thought our guys did a really good job of that last night. The flow wasn't quite there early on, but then they kept going through the adversity and they just kept plugging away. I think a few instances happened and it brought those guys more closer together. They were working a lot better as a team, probably second, third drive. And that was really fun to see. I was extremely proud of the guys for that. But yeah, it definitely wasn't the best start that we could have ever had, but we still I thought we put together a good drive. Unfortunately, I had a turnover on that first offensive drive, but it was still pretty fun to watch them.
Someone on the sideline got in trouble last night. I can't remember who it was, and I'm still trying to figure this out. But was that someone trying to get a little bit of a rally cry going together?
Unfortunately, no. That actually wasn't.
For those wondering, Coach Terry Huber got a slap on the wrist last night.
Your first one ever.
Yeah, I think that's my first
whoa,
one.
Whoa. I thought you got one in T.
Good. That was technically a sideline warning.
See, I'm keeping track of your penalties.
I was midway on the field last year in T. You are correct, but no. Unfortunately, I probably, I'm not really sure, to be honest, why it was called. I was talking to the guys in the huddle, and so it is what it is. That's one of those control the controllables things where it happens. And that's one of those things I think we all as coaches. Hopefully the players understand the respect we have for them, because halftime I just told them, that's on me. That's bad, because especially we all know there's a bunch of penalties last night. They could have started complaining, getting down, started actually going away from being the team they are, and they were extremely mature. They were just fighting.
They're doing a nice job overall, but just kind of want you to give them a little bit of talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at the line from last night, I thought they came together really well. We did have to make, a swap at left tackle, and Wav moved out there. Dom took the center position. New guy, Bryce McCorney, moved in to Yankton, and he has really stepped up his game. He's starting to get a little more comfortable at that left guard position. He's playing physical. His pass pro is looking really well. Luke Bernardo then also coming from tight end into right tackle. He's one of those guys who I know will do just about anything that he can for the team. He's a sacrificer. He loves Yankton Buck football as much as anybody I know. And Daly LaPointe in there, he is improving every day. So, those guys, it does take a little bit. I always tell them, we're 5 guys working together. And if we just have one guy poking their finger at another guy, you're just starting problems. But if you work together with 5 guys as a fist, then you're punching them in the mouth and you're running down the field. And that's what, I love that, just that mentality of we're working together like a fist and we're not going to take any crap from anyone. We're going to go out there and give it to them. So, I'm extremely impressed with these guys, especially like you said, they're for the most part all new. We have, Dom with some returning experience. Kason Store obviously wasn't playing last night, but he has some returning experience. And that's other than that, we're all new, and it's really refreshing.
Coach Kolbitz, I'm going to ask you about 3 guys on the defense. We're going to fire from the hip. You ready?
Okay.
All right. Mac Reichen, second year, basically playing varsity football. He had his first Mac attack last night, a big interception, and I just love his athleticism.
Oh yeah, so Mac, like you said, second year of playing football, you wouldn't know it watching him play. He's just an extremely coachable kid. What you look for in a corner is a guy that is confident in himself. But also when things don't go well, they're able to stay calm. And he is the epitome of calm. Like I tell him, you're cool as a cucumber, man. But last night, that was expected. When that ball went in the air, I don't even know if he's really been tried on a deep ball yet this year. And you expect Mac to make the play, and he did. That was a phenomenal play. So he makes my job a lot easier when you got a corner that's a senior, that's as athletic and as quick as he is, that can lock a guy down.
It seemed to go in slow motion, at least from my perspective.
I agree.
On the way down, he got it, right?
Yeah.
So it broke up, and then just seemed like he was taking his time almost as he was falling to his own back and just brought it in.
Yeah. So what you teach those DBs is, you want to turn, run, and then you want to put your hand on their hip and kind of ride them out towards the sideline. And then if you feel them slow down, you slow down and box them out. And he did it to perfection. And the ball was right there, and he finished with a good catch. So really excited for him.
All right, and then Cody Oswald, as I think Coach Muth at quarterback club one day called him in a monster position or something like that, right? Or the money position, whatever.
Yeah.
He's just like a checker piece or a chess piece. He's just moving all around the field. But he's doing a nice job from what I'm able to tell. Get into the backfield, one of the best pass rushers overall on the team. But how are you with trying to coordinate with Coach Olson of where you're going to be using him in a set? Or is it all just depending on what the set is? Or does he have any kind of? I guess what I'm asking is, does he have any free range of motion?
I wouldn't say free range of motion. He's either covering or he's blitzing, and it doesn't change a whole lot from his safety role that he's used to playing, except now he's at 5 yards and he's blitzing a whole heck of a lot more. And the reason for that is because Cody's, one of the best athletes in the state, and you want to get pressure on a quarterback, even if he's not getting sacks. That quarterback is running for his life, which turns his clock on. And he, for example, the pick that Shaler Platt caught yesterday, like that was because pressure, and the quarterback didn't know how much time he had, so he had to escape and get the ball out. Well, it was a terrible throw, and we took care of it. So even if you're not winning in the backfield, you're in his head, and that's a big part of why Cody's there.
I just imagine the Cody Oswald shadow over every quarterback. Just like, where is he on this field? No. And then Lucas Kampshoff, I was talking to Coach Muth and Olson, and such an athlete. Obviously, coaches know better than anyone how good of an athlete he really is. But just watching him in other sports too, I'm like, I really wondering where he's going to be used on this field, because he has to be. And his great hybrid kind of position. He's knocked down some passes. He's being disruptive in the secondary.
Yeah, he was one of those guys, like you said. We going into the season, we're like, well, where does he fit here? Because we need him on the field. I mean, he's one of our best athletes as well, and so he has been nothing but great. I mean, taking on a position that he's never played in his entire life, and being able to stick his nose in there and make tackles as what he's normally been just a quarterback in his life. I mean, that's impressive, and that's also a really great teammate. I mean, for a guy that maybe probably wants to be the quarterback, but doesn't have that opportunity right now, for him to say, I want to help the team, and to go out and compete the way that he has. I mean, we're a much better team when he's on the field, and it's been really awesome to see him develop.
I talked to last coaches too. And I need to stop saying I talked to, because assume that you're all getting the same questions. the same talking points are relevant to everyone, right?
Yes.
But Gavin Swanson is, in fact, a beast. That was confirmed again last night.
and
And the bowling ball, just under 100 yards. And as I said before, he will break off one for 15 or 20, but what he will give you every time is at least like 5.
Absolutely.
He runs angrily.
Yeah, I absolutely love that kid. His mentality is, Coach, I'm ready. Give me the ball and keep giving me the ball. Like he is as much of the, feed me Zeke Elliott as we've ever seen. He wants that
Please
ball.
don't let him start doing that.
And what a lot of people definitely don't see, though, is his blocking ability. Last year we got into, a decent amount of I formation sets in our heavy package, and he was that guy. He was our fullback leading up, and last week you just see him just laying into guys. Last night he's laying into guys. He runs with that high knee, and he's going to get you at least 3 yards each play. I always tell the line, if we get a minimum of 1.5 yard surge, he's getting 3 yards. It's going to happen, just because he's that physical guy he's a hard-nosed runner, kind of that old school runner that we really enjoy to have. But he, with that, is a bruiser, but he has great vision. His cutbacks, he has figured out this year the cutback on power better than any running back I've seen in high school. It's been phenomenal and really exciting to watch.
And Shaler Platt, Evan Cirk, another great pair of runners. Pretty much anyone you give him the ball to. Another great quarterback, Rugby Riken, that's another great running option for Yankton. And sometimes I feel like I need to talk about rugby more, but then I feel like that's all I talk about. He's running that. He's on the field. He's running that offense, and just such a threat. And that opens up so many doors of opportunities.
Yep, absolutely. Last night, he's 26 of 33 on passing, has 85 yards or so rushing. He is a guy that I think if I was a defensive coordinator going against him, I'd be pretty nervous, because that's what I love about this coaching staff is we get together and we talk about where our strength, where our weaknesses, and how can we improve those. And that's one thing we talk about is he's got that moxie about him. He wants the ball, but he's also not selfish. He knows where the players need to be. He understands that leadership role, and absolutely, I understand when you say. It feels like we talk about him all the time, but with a guy as talented as he is, I think it's worth it. It's absolutely worth getting that time on the air, because that's who he is. He's that leader that we have right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's just incredible to see the numbers he's putting up, but also just the drives that he can salvage. There was one last night where he was rolling out to the left, and then went to the right, then found Tyler Soler across the field. And it's like, how do you see?
And I love that, because that's with Coach Decker and Coach Hale, with quarterbacks and receivers, we all kind of got together and said, what do we need to work on a little bit more from the Mitchell game? Well, our scramble attack was not as efficient as we wanted to be, so we're working on those receivers coming back to the ball, finding those open, and that clip, especially Tyler. He did exactly what we know he does very well, anyways. But he has taken it from last week to this week and just bumped it up to a new level. He found that perfect spot. We had 3 other receivers also finding great spots, and Rugby he went through his progressions right away. He knows where his receivers are, and he can trust them. He can trust those guys to be coming to the ball, getting in the right position. So either they can help bail him out, or they're there to block for him if he's going to tuck it and take it himself.
And overall, I guess we've talked about most of the weapons. I guess what I'm going to ask you is about Watertown in general. I know it's already Watertown week, as Coach Moo 30 said. So what can you tell me about Watertown, what you're going to be looking for?
Yeah, so offensively, when we're looking at these guys, it's going to be a hard-fought football game. They're always strong, big dudes who are coming for it. The history of Yankton Watertown is something special, as in we don't like them much and they don't like us much. So we're excited for that. They do have some really good athletes. They had a good game last night. Anxious to kind of watch a little film on that, see how that game went. But definitely put in a few hours of their previous week's film. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see them.
Well, coaches, always appreciate the time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We got some college football today, maybe some sleep for everyone, and get that Pizza Ranch pizza. And
absolutely,
we'll see you on Friday.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach Colpitz and Coach Huber join us. We'll take a break, come back, and continue talking Yankton Bucks football.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MTRC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. MTRCSmithInsurance.com.
Support a local business that supports schools and events and provides fuel discounts for Yankton's largest employers, Triple Time Rudy's. At Triple Time Rudy's, you get that local friendly feel and also a unique offering of products. You'll find quality South Dakota products like Dimmick cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers, plus quality fuel products too. Conveniently located at 17th and Broadway for your daily fill-ups and convenience needs. Pull in to Triple Time Rudy's today.
Buying or selling your home is one of the biggest decisions you may make in your lifetime. I'm Deb Speck with Vision Real Estate, and I'm ready to help guide you with professional advice from before the listing until after the close. Not only will you get real estate knowledge, but also we provide moving boxes and an enclosed courtesy trailer to help make the move just a little easier. Call me today at 664-5555.
First Dakota is giving away new Ford F-150s to celebrate 150 years as a South Dakota bank. We owe it to the countless customers who have trusted us with their banking since 1872. And we want to say thanks by giving back. Nominate someone you know to win a new Ford pickup or go to firstdakota.com/150. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
Kids seem to always be misplacing things: socks, shoes, backpacks, books, you name it. So when it comes to important things like EpiPens for serious allergies or inhalers for breathing problems, make sure there's always some on hand when those items go missing or run out. Hi, this is Michael from Yankton Rexall. We pride ourselves on providing accurate prescriptions and appropriate medical information for your child's health. Good health attributes to good students. Yankton Rexall, your hometown pharmacy since 1923, located in the Meridian District.
Bucks and Gazelles fall sports are in full swing. Unfortunately, with them may come injury. The Yankton Medical Clinic provides patients with the latest technologies and procedures in orthopedic care. Orthopedic surgeons, Dr. Brent Adams and Dr. Jeremy Kudera, specialize in athletic injuries, including fractures and sprains, shoulder, ankle, and knee injuries, and more. They'll have your favorite athlete back in the game in no time, offering the highest level of care right here at home. Call the Yankton Medical Clinic today. So much care, so close to home.
There are a lot of benefits for your small business when you have a relationship with your locally owned and operated The UPS Store. I'm Doug Frederick, manager of the UPS Store of Yankton. Not only do we provide excellent customer service, but we also provide the necessary tools to help your small business thrive. We can help you with everything ing, printing, packing, copying, faxing, freighting, any ing your small business needs, even shredding, notarizing, mailboxing, every ing for your small business, and of course, shipping. The UPS Store of Yankton, across from Walmart.
Have aches and pains taken you out of your game? At First Chiropractic Centers, we have been helping people get back into their game for nearly 40 years. Whether your game is sports related, or it looks more like gardening, household chores, exercising, or just daily life, if your pain is preventing you from enjoying or participating in your chosen activity, we can help. First Chiropractic Centers, whole health with hands-on healing, with offices in Yankton, Scotland, Hardington, Tyndall, and Wagner.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig, and sorry that we went out on KYNT temporarily. There's some gremlins in the studio today, so I don't know how to explain it, but not the coaches. They're all good. Being joined by Coach Matt Decker and Coach Brady Hale. Coaches, congratulations on the 38-0 victory last night. And, I've talked about it a couple segments now, but it seemed really stop go to kind of start things off. But eventually things seemed to get worked out, get smoothed out on the way to a 38-0 victory.
Yeah. So obviously that trip out west it's tough. Just, having no school, being out of school all day, no routine. You're kind of just on the bus all day. And we have a few young guys that, they've never made that trip before. And that's something that you have to do kind of to know really what to expect. And I think we came out maybe, kind of feeling that a little bit, but it didn't take us long to snap back in. And that's all credit to our senior leadership who do a really great job of showing our young guys how to do things. And I'm really proud of our effort throughout the, obviously the first half and continued until the end of the game.
Well, as the quarterback's coach, I'm going to ask Rugby Riken doing Rugby Riken things again. And I am just every week, I don't know why I'm even surprised anymore, really. But it's the fact that, he goes to the left, then rolls to the right, and then sees Tyler Solar coming back to the ball on the opposite side of the field and just puts one on a dime for a massive gain. And then there was another one. It was like, I don't know, second or third and 41 or something like that. And I think it was Goebel with that reception. It's just, how is he seeing these guys downfield?
Yeah, you said it. He's just kind of a magician. I kind of think of things in the way I would be coaching against him, and I would not want to deal with that. He is so good with his feet, and he sees all the defenders. He knows where they're at. He's able to spin out of the pocket. He's just a special athlete in that way. And then obviously he knows how to use those weapons that he has on the outside. And like you said, those guys have made plays for him all year, and they're going to continue to do that. And it's really just exciting to have that dynamic on offense.
And speaking of the receivers, Coach Decker, as he said, they've done a nice job, not only just getting downfield and running just really crisp routes, at least from what I can see, but just when a play does break down and Rugby is back there scrambling around, just being all Fran Tarkenton on us. And they are just so knowledgeable. And it seems like they just have an instinct to get back to the ball somehow, or at least make sure that he will see them open.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've worked on that a lot in the past 2 years. When Rugby has to escape, what we need to do as wide receivers to, one, either get across the field and get into his vision, or two, kind of settle in the grass and kind of come back towards the ball so that he can see it. And I know, the best person that does that on our team is Tyler Solar. Him having a great night last night and becoming the Bucs all-time leader in receptions, that's a big deal. There's been a lot of great football players in this program, but for him to do that, that's a big deal. So congrats to him. He's one heck of a player, but also one heck of a guy too.
And very well deserved for everyone. And Rugby's been in the record books early this year as well. It just seems like I really need to start bringing the record book with me. Yeah. I have one. Yeah. I'm just like, I need to start bringing it on the broadcast.
I'll also echo that. Rugby last night. I believe he broke passing yards, attempts, and completions all in one game. And I don't think there's any stat that he's not going to have the record for. And I mean, like Coach Decker said, there have been some really, really good, not only wide receivers, but quarterbacks that have come throughout the years. And Yankton is a program that has a lot of tradition, and it means a lot to a lot of people. And those guys should be proud of that for a long, long time. And just want to give those guys a special shout out because obviously they couldn't do it without their teammates, but those guys have done some really special things this year.
Yeah, they have. We do need to put like an Apple Watch or a Fitbit on a Rugby, and then a new record will be distance covered by foot.
No kidding.
Him running just circles the back. Right. I just wanted I did 7.2 miles in this game. So, but no, it's very impressive. Let's talk some JV football.
Yeah.
Yankton Bucks JV team lost to Pier 34-13 Monday night at Pier. That's another great trip. Yeah. But let's go ahead and start with offense.
Yeah. So we went out to Pier on Monday. Another trip that's it's tough on you, but there's a lot of things that happen in JV football, and you got to adjust to those, and that's kind of the way that is because Sunday night we might find out that certain players have been playing really well, and they're not going to come to the JV game, and that's kind of what you want as a JV coach is to have those guys play well on a Monday, and then have that be noticed and communicated, and then they can play in a varsity game on Friday. But that's just kind of the challenge of JV. Can you put some of those things aside, and you might have to play a position you don't quite know. And we really played hard, and I was proud of our effort on Monday. We did some really nice things. There were some guys that had really nice performances. I'll give a shout out to Evan Sirk, who continues to run the ball really well. Easton Nelson does a nice job quarterbacking for us. And then we have a familiar last name in Azarbach playing wide receiver for us. So those guys do a really nice job. I think we also had Connor Slaba, who had, I want to say 8 grabs in that JV game, which is a really nice number. But we fell a little short. We were in that ball game right up until the end, and then I know just proud of our effort. And that's a tough trip, and the guys handled that well.
We have 1 or 2 more in each pipeline of Rikens and Zarbachs, and when the names run out, I'm gonna get scared.
Yeah,
those have been staples for so many years across so many different teams.
Yeah. So those guys, like you said, when that's why it's so special when these guys are setting records, you just know who, parents and grandparents and brothers and sisters and all these people have come through Yankton Athletics, and to hold a record is just something those guys should be really proud of.
Let's go ahead and talk to Coach Decker about the defense.
Yeah, the defense did a good job. They held Pierre to scoreless, except for we had a blocked punt, and that was Pierre's only score through 3 quarters. So going into the 4th quarter, it was 8-6, and we did a good job defensively through 3 quarters. Just like Coach Hale said, the struggle with JV is, not a lot of depth, and so we got tired that 4th quarter, and they kind of went off, for quite a bit. I know 3 or 4 touchdowns in the 4th. So we kind of struggled. We were tired. We were trying to rotate guys in to kind of give them a break, but we kind of broke down in the 4th quarter defensively. But I told the guys this too. I was proud. 3 quarters holding Pierre, their offense scoreless. That's a pretty darn good job. So I was proud of them for that. Some of the guys that did a great job that are going to be dudes this year for us, and that eventually for the varsity are Trenton Yerke, Caden Hughes, Bodie Thurman, Donald Rounds. Bodie and Donald Rounds, I know he had family versus Pierre, and he had family reffing the game in there in Pierre, so that was kind of fun to see. But those guys, Bryce Krall does a good job. Matt Grotenhouse.
As all Bryces do.
Yeah, exactly. Mark Cottle, Derek Beal works hard on the defensive line. So we got some guys at that JV level that are developing into really good, solid, reliable varsity athletes for next year.
And then back in action Monday, and all of our favorite place to go, T area.
Yeah, so T, I'm sure it'll be a challenge. Haven't played them yet in a JV game. But just to hit on those 2 corners, Bodie Thurman and Donald Rounds, I think they're at 3 interceptions apiece through 2 JV games. So, I mean, if you want to come watch some defensive back play, those 2 might be the 2 to come watch. But no, Coach Decker does a great job coaching those guys up, and it's really fun to watch them play and back in action against the Titans on Monday. So
that's why I love watching the JV level too, is because a lot of the guys are on the younger side and may not see a lot of varsity time, but there's also the upper part of that are there every Friday night in more of utility roles, because they're still doing JV, but it's nice to see that growth happen.
Right. So those guys, they're balling out on a Monday, and then they might only get, special teams action on a Friday, but it's fun to see those guys and what they're capable of, and they just do a really nice job on Fridays when they get in there and have the chance.
Well, coaches, go get some rest, and I always appreciate you coming into the coaches' corner. Enjoy some Pizza Ranch pizza in the conference room out there. And again, congratulations on the victory last night.
Thanks, Bryce. Have a good one.
All right, we'll go ahead and take a break, come back, and continue here on the coaches' corner.
Investing in your home is easier and more fun when you have local choices. This is Cody Miles, owner of Upper Midwest Garage Door. We offer a wide variety of American-made, unique Clopay garage doors. Free in-home consultations, a digital preview of the new garage doors on your home, and the expert small-town service you deserve. Get started today with your local independent Clopay dealer, Upper Midwest Garage Door. Give us a call, stop by, or learn more at uppermidwestgaragedoor.com.
Bring the crew to Pizza Ranch in Yankton. This is Annie, and we have legendary pizza and chicken just waiting for you on our buffet. Let us know what you're craving, and we'll make it fresh and bring you the first slice. Or let us deliver right to your front door. Your locally owned Yankton Pizza Ranch on Broadway, 665-1222.
It's where life tastes better. Surround them up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch. Whoa, that's good.
In the lab or up on stage, Mount Marty University has a place for you. From athletes and artists to academics and alumni, together we cheer each other on and work to make a difference in the lives of those around us. Show your spirit at a university that celebrates what makes us different. Schedule a tour at Mount Marty University by visiting mountmarty.edu or calling 605-668-1545.
It's time for a new kind of credit card, one that's with you where you are, wherever life leads. The Evergreen Credit Card by F&BO earns you unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase, every day, every step of the way. For important information and limitations regarding the rewards program, visit fnbo.com/evergreen for complete details. From the great big small bank, ever ready for you to earn more so you can do more. Only with Evergreen by F&BO. Learn more today at fnbo.com/evergreen.
The treatment of eye diseases and injuries requires the best technology, along with the newest surgical techniques. So turn to the experts from Avera Medical Group Wilcoxon Eye Associates in Yankton. We are on the forefront of eye care that will allow you to see clearly and with more comfort. Schedule an appointment with us or learn more by visiting avera.org/Wilcoxon.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Bryce, Ladwig here. We have our last Yankton football segment, being joined by Coach Jason Savvy and Dan Schwa. Coaches, good morning. And you guys were watching from afar last night.
Yep. Watch the game on the live stream. So,
yeah, well, great victory for the Bucks. A little start-stop, at the beginning, but you've heard me talk already in this show today a few times about that. And the one thing you don't like to see is that happen, but you do love to see it get smoothed out, and seem to have that happen. So it's always nice to see.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll go ahead, and I want to ask Coach Jason Savvy about Gavin Swanson. I've mentioned him a few times, but mainly just the running back depth for the varsity overall, because you work at the running back. So
right,
yes, Swanson, Shaler Platt, Evan Sirk, and Rugby Riken, which I consider basically a quarterback / running back hybrid. And just that depth, how is it to be able to work with all those levels?
Yeah, that's always a bonus, when you got that depth there that guys can rotate in when needed, if a guy just needs a little break, or, get a little dinged up, whatever, need to come out a few plays, you can put somebody in and you're not going to lose any ground on it. But yeah, watching it, I was really happy watching the guys run. Biggest thing that we stress is, ball security. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I always look at is like, did we put the ball on the ground? And we haven't. In the 2 games we played, they've done a really good job of taking care of the ball, and that's huge. And then obviously after that, it's just preaching the, see daylight, hit it and get what you can.
There was 2 plays last night, one from Rugby and Gavin, actually, Swanson, ironically enough, but both of them happened right in front of me. And they had a guy come up behind them. I don't know if they were completely aware of it, but they tried to strip it and they couldn't. I think they have the grip of death on that football.
Yeah, that's one thing that's a mainstay. Every drill, every practice, every drill we do, we start with ball security. So we teach those guys the high and tight, is kind of the motto, that they got to keep that ball up high, keep it tight to their chest plate, and make sure that it's secured. So you never know when those hands are coming in and stuff, and you don't always see it. So they've been doing a good job.
Yankton 9th grade football defeated Mitchell 24-0 on Thursday. And Coach Schwach, we'll start with you. I just want you to go ahead and talk to us about that defensive effort.
Yeah, well, always enjoy a shutout. Defensively, they're starting to play a lot faster. Just kind of a little more, not less thinking, a lot playing faster, staying aggressive. 10 sacks as a team, and we need to go back and review that, but it sure seemed like at least that many. We don't keep tackles for losses, but I'd say we'd be in the double digits there too. 3 guys got interceptions. Cornerbacks, we're starting to figure out our different coverages a little bit. So every week learning a little bit more, getting a few more reps, and we were, really happy. It got fun there when we had 3 sacks in a row in the third quarter and blocked a punt in their own end zone. So
that is a defensive showcase.
Yes, we were. Yeah. So, good improvement from last week, and excited to get back to work next week.
Coach Savvy, I want to talk about the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, offensively, obviously last week we had a tough situation when Tate Bestie went down, and we got to get the quarterback position kind of solidified. And Talon Kenny stepped in last week and did a good job for us, and he's rotating in with Easton Feeser right now. Those 2 are competing for that quarterback job, and Easton got most of the reps this last game against Mitchell. He was doing a good job, and he's a tough runner, which is a little bit of an advantage towards him, being able to run that ball a little bit more. And then threw some nice passes. I mean, he's only had really a couple days to really kind of get into the groove of the quarterback position. But, you know, he's an athlete, and, you know, he got out there and made some plays for us through 2 really nice balls to Abe O'Brien for our 2 touchdowns. And then threw a lot of nice swing passes to Jason Ladwig, who's kind of our workhorse. He's on everything. Kicker, punter, you know, running back,
He fills the
linebacker.
Gatorade cooler as well.
Exactly. But he did a great job, and our running game was really good. I mean, we had 179 overall yards, and you look at it, we had 3 guys, 56 yards, 54 yards. Carter Boone's with 32 yards, 31 yards, and guys with 8, 18, 8, 6 yards a carry. So, I mean, our running game was really impressive. And then we just highlighted that with enough of a passing game to just kind of keep Mitchell on their toes.
Yeah, Mitchell, I'm assuming that they're always producing good football squads. Obviously, that's some down years and stuff, but good athletes across the board. It's just nice to see how these 9th grade squads always link up, because, you know, each year it's getting closer and closer to meeting on a Friday night, and it's just always interesting to see.
Yeah. And Mitchell, and they had some good athletes, but their numbers were down. I mean, I think they probably had about 19 kids, which is tough. I mean, you know, when you don't have, and we just talked about depth, you know, when you don't have depth and you're keeping guys on the field pretty much the whole time with all the special teams, everything, I mean, that's going to wear on any kids and stuff. So they got some good athletes. So when these freshmen get up, you know, they're going to mix in with some of those older and maybe younger kids coming up too and stuff. So, but it's fun. We told our kids, you know, it's always fun to see these opponents that, you know, hey, you're going to see these guys the next 3 years. So nice to kind of make a statement right away and set the tone.
Huron is the next game, September 8th at Crane Youngworth, 4:15 to start. What can you tell me about Huron's 9th grade? If anything,
don't know a whole lot about.
Don't ever.
Well, even as I said that, I remember in the past, you and I have actually talked about when I've asked that before, like, well, not much. This is actually kind of the scouting trip, right? For the entire football program is your really first real look at the future varsity players.
Yeah. Middle school, you know, doesn't play. Sometimes, you know, like Coach Schwach's just coming up from middle school and he has an idea of what some of those, you know, the Mitchells and some of these other teams are kind of like. But Huron's one team that, you know, middle school doesn't play and stuff. So we kind of go into it pretty blind. We can watch, you know, film on last year's freshman game or watch some of their, you know, varsity stuff to see what formations and things they're going to probably run. But we don't know what they have. They don't, and probably same with that. They don't know, you know, quarterback, receiver, running back, who's their stud, who's their, you know, and how are they on defense and stuff. So it's one tricky thing about freshmen. You don't have that scouting and planning. And sometimes it's nice with, you know, Huddle and these sites. You can go in and get their games from other teams now, which is nice, but not always. So we're going to look and see if we can find some Huron, maybe video from one of their first 2 games here and just go from there. But we're going to prepare and do what we need to do on our side of the ball, and we'll be ready to go. Looking forward to a homestand here. We got 3 home games in a row. So,
Well, you kind of alluded to it already, but even if you don't have the material to prep, it's also kind of nice just to really focus in on the team and just what your game plan is going forward. Obviously, you want a victory at the end of the day, but just really good learning opportunity to not really focus in their team, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Still plan on installing a few more plays. I mean, still kind of in the skeleton of the playbook. So get a few more plays in, terms in that they're going to see throughout their 4 years at the high school level, at Buck football level, and have the ability to show Huron multiple looks and react to whatever they throw at us.
All right, coaches. Well, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy some football. A lot of games today.
Yeah.
And maybe get some sleep. And also some Pizza Ranch pizza if you guys haven't already had some.
Yep, already did.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, coaches. And we're going to be back, and we'll continue here on the Coaches Corner.
Are you looking to get your career moving? Then Truxedo Bed Covers is looking for you. Truxedo of Yankton has immediate openings for first, second, and third shifts and offers weekly pay, full benefits package with paid time off, paid holidays, a team-oriented atmosphere, climate-controlled work environment, and pay starting at $19.75 an hour. If you're ready to join the Truxedo team, visit truxedo.com/careers and apply today. Truxedo is a real truck company and equal opportunity employer.
The warmer months can be wonderful times that allow for plenty of fun outdoors. However, while you may be enjoying the outside time, pests and insects may be trying to find their way inside. Eliminating a pest infestation and ensuring they don't return can be tough to do on your own, but with Olson's Pest Technicians by your side, you can rest assured you're fully protected. Locally owned and operated since 1966, Olson's Pest Technicians provides reliable pest control services to residential and commercial properties. Visit 800KILBugs.com.
Think about how people really see you. The kid at the drive-thru just sees a coffee drinker.
Please move forward.
Your local barista sees the person who loves a smiley face in their latte.
See you next time.
It's kind of the same way with insurance. Other insurance companies just see a customer, but a State Farm agent sees more. They see you as a neighbor. Your State Farm agent is here to get to know who you really are, so they can help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Rhonda Westland at 665-4411 today to learn more.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. We turn the tables over to volleyball now. Gazelles of volleyball. Yankton fell to Beersford, 5 sets Thursday, and then straight sets on Tuesday at Harrisburg. Being joined by Coach Chelsea Law. Coach, I think this is the first time you've been in studio this year, right?
Yes, this is it.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Have you had some Pizza Ranch pizza?
I did not. I was hoping it was the breakfast kinds.
Sorry, Annie.
It's okay.
I did tell everyone. I'm talking to the Pizza Ranch.
Yes.
That they had an ingredient snafu today, or maybe move forward. I don't know. But there will be a mystery pizza along with the pepperonis from now on. So.
There we go.
Yeah, so it'll be very interesting to see how that all plays out. Let's talk about volleyball.
Yeah.
Coach, Beersford is good.
They are good.
As you know.
Yeah.
And of course, classes really don't matter at the end of the day. But despite the loss, you seem you should be, I think, happy with the effort from the girls in all the sets.
Exactly. You know, like I said to you, we played a lot of volleyball in the past couple of days, right? Which is good. It's experience, competition. I've seen a lot of growth, so if you can play within a week and already see huge amounts of growth, that's ultimately what you're looking for, right? Yeah, it doesn't class-wise, doesn't matter. We're playing good Class A schools, right? And that's just good competition that you want to have. Last weekend we went to Norfolk, had 3 games on Saturday. Did come out with a win there against South Sioux, which is good. So that definitely kind of, confidence in you going into new games. Harrisburg game was really, really great. I mean, our defense was good. They were ready to rock and roll. Set 2 wasn't our best, but competitive wise, like if you want to come and watch fun volleyball, we've done that. Like both just good competition, getting balls up, putting balls in good places, coming together as a team. Harrisburg first and third matches was really fun volleyball to watch. So yeah, scores might not always reflect that. But if you're there, we're up, right? We're up by some points. Right now, I would say that the finishing to the win is kind of our struggle right now. But you have to keep putting yourself in those positions to get used to those positions and eventually taking wins home. Teams like Harrisburg and all the good teams that we're playing, you can't give them the windows of opportunities. So the moment they see that you're down, they're forcing you to make errors and you keep kind of falling into those forcing of errors, they just see the opportunities. Beersford was good. They were scrappy defensive wise. Anything to the middle, they were just picking things up, and we were not able to kind of push to the line and get away from that. But competitive wise, like we went in and 5 sets. Anytime you can go watch a volleyball game that's going to go to 5 sets and see that back and forth volleys and balls up and just fun things to watch. Yeah, it was good.
Well, one thing, Coach, I've been really focused on all season is just because I find it fascinating for some reason, but the junior strong thing, being senior list just this year. But it brings to the question of, has there been any girls that have really impressed you? You can say all, but then you have to give me one.
Right.
That have really stepped up, not only their play on the court, but their leadership role. I've really come into that team captain kind of feel.
Right. You're right. When you are, they're young. What is, it's a good thing, but it's also in the moment right now, it could be a really frustrating thing for them because there is a lot of potential and there's a lot of talent in the team. You might not always get to see that right now because you're going through some of those growing pains. But as you look forward ahead and things keep getting better, it's just going to keep getting better. Right. So I'd have to say Ava Collars kind of really come out of, she was in setter positions in the past 2 years that she's played volleyball. And we completely put her to a different spot. And she's been embracing the outside and the right side and her defense, using feedback to really make her get better. And of course, the 3 girls with Macy and Peyton and Camille, because they have a lot of experience on the varsity court here together, you do rely on them to make some clutch plays when you need a clutch play. And Peyton's definitely really done that with the digs and just getting balls up, and Camille always hustling to get to a ball that girl can just run, right? Still always tease her about joining the track team, but just putting balls where she needs to, and Macy swinging hard when we need Macy to swing hard.
And then you're in the middle of a 5-game road trip.
Mhm.
Do you miss home yet?
Yeah, right? Like, what's home? What's the home gym like besides practice?
Sioux Falls, Roosevelt Tuesday,
Yep.
Washington on Thursday,
Mhm.
Huron on the 13th, but then you do get to return home to the Summit,
17th, right?
Yes.
Who do we play? Do you know? Take one week at a time.
I had them all your road games listed.
We did. Okay, we'll talk next week. And then
I just don't know what it's like to list a home game anymore. You know, this has been so long.
Yes.
But do the road trips affect the week's plans at all? Obviously, with travel, yes.
Right.
But as far as just implementing a game plan or practice, or do you try to keep it as close as possible to if you were doing a Tuesday and Thursday home games?
Yeah, anytime you got to travel, you know, you're on the bus. You sit in the bus for 2 or 3 hours. Luckily, we're not at those long away ESC matches. We're in the Sioux Falls, so you're within an hour, but still, you've been on a bus, you get off the bus. It does change the dynamics versus like when you're here, you don't have to travel. You can move right away, right? But, you know, I kind of focus things on like what's, you know, it's nobody wants to lose, right? Everybody wants to go into a match and you want to win. Somebody always comes out a winner and a loser. But I try to have the mentality of like, you grow the most from the setbacks, right? So we can look at what happened with Beersford, be super glad that we are going to 5 games and we're playing hard volleyball. And then what are some of the things that we can do to, one, keep doing the competitive things, but also get better with the little things that you can tweak and fix. So as far as like practices, I just really focus on, yes, let's do some reps of the good things and let's kind of fix the things we need to fix.
Well, over the last couple of years, Coach, of you and I talking, I've noticed that you're not as much into the scouting their team. You scout their team, but talking to me about what they're doing, because you're internally focused a lot, right? But if you had to tell me one thing about Roosevelt, and at least your matchup with them, what would that be?
Right. Roosevelt's seen a lot of growth, I think, in the past couple of years. I mean, even last season, at the beginning of their season, was really struggling. They finished really, really strong. So they're just getting competitively better defensively, and you know they're always going to swing, right? So we've kind of changed around some defensive things that we're doing because you're playing those tough teams, they're going to swing at you, and you have to be defensively ready for that always. Block's got to be there, right? Yeah, I do focus on a lot. You know, you have to be able to control the things that you control with your own team, and if you can't go out and play your own game, you're not going to see the results that you want. So try to, internally focus, goal set for us for sure.
Can you give us a word on the Sub-varsity programs, kind of overall view of how they're going this year?
Yeah. So they both took wins this week with Beersford, and we're seeing lots of growth, right? So young people put in positions that have never had to play junior varsity or having to play full J-varsity, junior varsity. So anytime we can come in and see the growth, little things at a time, and take home a win for them on Thursday, it was super exciting for them.
Well, I'm looking forward to eventually getting into the summer, covering some games on KYNT TV, just the way the calendar worked out this year. And the fact that you're never home. So.
Right.
there is that instance that we just mentioned. You haven't been home in forever, but maybe someday, right?
Right.
And good luck in Sioux Falls, Roosevelt Tuesday. And then again, Washington on Thursday.
Yep.
And then again, 13th, Huron. So two Hurons. So a lot of road games, and eventually we'll welcome you home. So go get them, Coach. Thanks for joining us here on the Coach
Thank
Corner.
you.
All right, let's Coach Chelsea Law. We'll come back and we'll talk Yankton Gazelles soccer with Coach Tyler Shearing. All coming up.
As a proud community bank, Core Trust delivers more than just checking and savings accounts. We invest in the cities and towns where we live and work by volunteering to coach youth sports teams, supporting local charities and the arts with our time and resources. Whether we live in a rural town in South Dakota or a suburban city in Minnesota, it's a place we call home. Core Trust Bank. Raise your expectations.
Member FDIC.
Do you have dry, sore, or irritated eyes? If so, you may have dry eye. At Vision Care Associates, we offer a simple, fast, and non-surgical procedure to treat black glands in your eyelids that can help your eyes to feel comfortable again. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Fieser to find out about dry eye treatment with our newest technology.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MT&RC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. MTRCSmithInsurance.com.
Support a local business that supports schools and events and provides fuel discounts for Yankton's largest employers, Triple Time Rudy's. At Triple Time Rudy's, you get that local friendly feel and also a unique offering of products. You'll find quality South Dakota products like Dimmick cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers, plus quality fuel products too. Conveniently located at 17th and Broadway for your daily fill-ups and convenience needs. Pull in to Triple Time Rudy's today.
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Now we pivot and talk some soccer. Yankton Gazelles soccer. Gazelles tied O'Gorman one apiece on Thursday evening. And thanks to those that were listening on KYNT or watching on KYN TV, we always appreciate it. And being joined by Coach Tyler Sherry. But actually, I do want to mention also that lone goal coming from Kira Christ, coworker's daughter. So, and being joined by Coach Tyler Sherry. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, Bryce.
Well, first of all, how are you?
I probably got a little bit more sleep than you last night, so glad you were able to make it.
You know someone is tired when they go like this, like, how are you? So overall, no, big tie or draw, if you will, against O'Gorman. Obviously, a very good O'Gorman squad, and obviously you're the head coach, so you know what I mean by saying this. Seems like you guys have been fighting up the entire season, but really great defensive work that showed again. Giving up a goal, I think it was in like the first 3 minutes.
3 minutes, yep.
Yeah, and then just holding them off the rest of the way. So defensively, Gazelle's showing out.
Yeah, we've been progressing every game this year, so that's really nice to see from the squad. Yeah, a good defensive effort. We had a little lapse at first, 2-3 minutes, like you had mentioned there. But I thought the team did a really good job clamping down after that. They showed more maturity in this game, not giving up that 1, 2, 3 goals right after. So it was definitely a really good defensive effort. The back line was well organized the entire game, not letting the balls get through. But also our midfield applied a lot of pressure throughout the game. And I think that was one of the biggest things. At times it looks like we have 6, 7 midfielders out there, but we've got, 4 or 5 doing all the work out there. And, they're applying a lot of pressure, and it's great to see.
Yeah, it's just, and I'm still learning soccer as I go too. It just does seem that defensively, as you mentioned, just very aggressive, but on the offensive side, especially around the net, it seems that kind of things kind of slow down a little bit. We should kind of explain why that might be.
For us in particular, we're a really good possession team. But there's just more space, kind of like football when you get down, toward the end zone, there's just less space to make the passes. So the defense can clamp down a little bit tighter. Out in the attack or the middle third, there's just more space to complete some passes, make some runs. You get closer to goal, you got to be a little bit more clinical with your passes, a little bit tighter passing lanes. So things are going to slow down there a little bit. I thought we did a really good job opening up the game against O'Gorman compared to some of our previous games where, we had been completing anywhere from 75 to 80% of our passes in some of our other games, but we weren't really doing anything with it. We were doing it in the midfield, but I thought we did a really good job putting O'Gorman under some pressure, putting the ball in dangerous areas, which again opened up the game for us. And we were able to create a good number of goal scoring opportunities. And fortunately, we were able to take care of one.
Everyone whenever they say that, hey, so coach, your team is young, it's usually talking about sophomores, younger upperclassmen maybe. But it really is young 8th graders on the team. And last year, 7th graders, now the 8th graders playing. But the question I have, Coach, is how has their growth been playing at the varsity level, not just on the field, but in practice and communicating with their teammates and really just kind of finding their roles on the team?
We had a lot of inexperience this year coming in on the varsity level, even from some of our upperclassmen, which we don't necessarily have a whole lot, which is why we're, the younger girls are getting the opportunity. As far as that maturity and growth from the younger group, I think that's really starting from the leaders that we have that are the older ones. I've been really impressed with what Bree Lucan has done this year as a leader, coming in as really that lone returning senior, just one of the captains out there. And then the junior class has been really good, working with the girls throughout the summer. And then, this season, they've been helping bring that younger group along. But yeah, I'm extremely impressed with the maturity and just the overall soccer mentality of some of those younger players, able to step on the field, face up, and play one-on-one with seniors out there. We played a really tough schedule so far, and I really am impressed with the growth that I've seen from all of our players, even the upperclassmen who maybe didn't have all that varsity experience, but through and up and down the lineup, there's a lot of growth, a lot of maturity, and they faced all the challenges. We understood there was going to be some bumps in the road, but I think we're starting to hit our stride. And we're going to see some continued growth for our final 7 regular season games.
Yeah, and you mentioned the tough schedule really doesn't get any easier, really. I mean, the rest of the way, and you have 2 ESD opponents next, Brandon Valley on Tuesday, Brookings Thursday. And what is the plan this week to prep for those teams? Have you changed anything as far as prepping, or do you kind of keep the same structure as far as how you deal out your week?
Well, this season has been really an evolution. We started the first part of the year just working on possession, and we started controlling the games with our possession. But we were still giving up some goals, so our next thing, as a team, as a program, okay, we're going to focus on defense. We're going to, tighten that up, get that a little bit better. So you could see after that, our defense was playing well. Our possession was good, but we weren't creating the opportunities. So just in the last week and a half, we're like, all right, the next evolution is we need to build the attack. How can we get the ball in dangerous areas? Give up a little bit more possession, a little bit more completion percentage, but put us in opportunities that we can score. And I saw over the last 2 or 3 games, we started opening up that end a little bit. The next part is just we need to be a little bit more clinical with our finishes, continue creating the opportunities, continue with the possession, continue being tight defensively. But when we get those opportunities, we need to put those in the back of the net. And again, it's just an evolution of this team. And, they've taken the challenges on. They understand that it's a long season. We're playing a lot better now than we were at the beginning. And we're going to play a lot better at the end. We're 7 games in. Once we get to 14 games, I'm excited to see where we're at.
Well, Gazelles travel to Brandon Valley Tuesday. What time? The Gazelles first?
The Gazelles will be at 5 o'clock. It's 5 and 7 on Tuesday.
Okay. The first game of that doubleheader. Make sure that if you can get out there, do so. Coach, as always, I appreciate coming in. But actually, I do want to get a word on the Sub-varsity, what you can tell us about how that's going.
I'm really impressed with the JV, what they're doing right now. And we've got a lot of girls that are what we call swing players. So they're getting some opportunities on the varsity, and they're able to sit the bench and, learn a little bit watching those games, be involved. We also have our JV kind of sitting the bench as well, just, be in one program. But I've been really impressed with what I've seen with the JV. Sometimes you'll have the varsity playing a certain style, and then the JV, they're just trying to muddle through. But our JV is, they're playing really well. They're picking up on the same things the varsity are doing. We're all training together. It's not 2 different groups training in practice. Right now they're sitting at 3-3 on the season. So playing pretty well. So there's some really good girls down there, and, those girls are pushing the other girls that are in varsity, that are getting the playing time. So that's always great to see in a program as well.
Literally, that's exactly what you want to see, is them pushing your varsity. That's how you grow as a program. I love how you said that it's just one giant program.
Absolutely.
And it's really nice to see. Coach, good luck on Tuesday and on Thursday. And as always, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Bryce.
Let's go to Tyler Shearing. We'll continue here on the Coach's Corner. We'll be back.
Buying or selling your home is one of the biggest decisions you may make in your lifetime. I'm Deb Speck with Vision Real Estate, and I'm ready to help guide you with professional advice from before the listing until after the close. Not only will you get real estate knowledge, but also we provide moving boxes and an enclosed courtesy trailer to help make the move just a little easier. Call me today at 664-5555.
First Dakota is giving away new Ford F-150s to celebrate 150 years as a South Dakota bank. We owe it to the countless customers who have trusted us with their banking since 1872. And we want to say thanks by giving back. Nominate someone you know to win a new Ford pickup, or go to firstdakota.com/150. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
Kids seem to always be misplacing things: socks, shoes, backpacks, books, you name it. So when it comes to important things like EpiPens for serious allergies or inhalers for breathing problems, make sure there's always some on hand when those items go missing or run out. Hi, this is Michael from Yankton Rexall. We pride ourselves on providing accurate prescriptions and appropriate medical information for your child's health. Good health attributes to good students. Yankton Rexall, your hometown pharmacy since 1923, located in the Meridian District.
Bucks and Gazelles fall sports are in full swing. Unfortunately, with them may come injury. The Yankton Medical Clinic provides patients with the latest technologies and procedures in orthopedic care. Orthopedic surgeons, Dr. Brent Adams and Dr. Jeremy Kudera, specialize in athletic injuries, including fractures and sprains, shoulder, ankle, and knee injuries, and more. They'll have your favorite athlete back in the game in no time, offering the highest level of care right here at home. Call the Yankton Medical Clinic today. So much care, so close to home.
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. Let's talk Yankton competitive dance and cheer. We're joined by Coach Stacy Reichen and for the first time, Madeline Wells. Coaches, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Coach Wells, tell us about yourself.
Oh, goodness.
I heard you talk at the fall banquet quickly, but for those that may not have been there and listening or watching on KYNT TV, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I am from Columbia, Missouri. I just moved to South Dakota last year. We lived in Lenox, South Dakota, and I student taught there for a little bit. And then my fiance got his clinical positions here in Yankton, and this is where he went to college. So it's coming back home for him. We moved here. I applied for a teaching position at Yankton School District and got the teaching position at Lincoln Elementary. And then they also offered me the position of coaching competitive cheer. I coached competitive cheer, all-star cheer, and sideline cheer in Columbia, Missouri at my high school where I graduated. So I had a little bit of experience there. And that's pretty much it.
Well, welcome to Yankton and to the Coach's Corner. And I'm glad that you're here and we can talk all about competitive dance and cheer moving forward. And both of you competed in your teams competed in Watertown Invite on Tuesday. And we'll go ahead and start with Coach Reichen. And Yankton finished 259.5 points right in fifth. Why don't you just give us the overall how you feel about that performance?
Yep. It was great to just get a score. The score sheet broken down different things. Our score sheets, they were all 8s, 8.5s, and 9s, which is what I'd like to see. We kind of set a goal then after getting those that we don't want to see any 7s. And then how could we make our 8s become 8.5s? How can we get the 8.5s up to 9? Just to go from there. There's just we had a lot of really good things happen. They had a lot of good emotion. That's something that I'm big on, that we get the team to show their passion for dance on the floor. There's just some little timing things we got to work on and go from there. It's a great start for the season.
And then we'll flip it over to competitive cheer.
So our girls placed 14th out of 16th place at the Watertown Invites. But our goal walking into that was we knew we were doing simple stunts. So our scores for difficulty were low. And a few of the execution things as far as like tumbling goes was low, which again, we knew was going to happen. So our score there ended up being 166. We had 10 points in deduction for one fall, which we were able to then come to practice the next time and hit perfectly. So we are now,
of course, right?
Yeah. Right. So we were advancing those stunts, and I decided to give them their actual stunts that we wanted to see at ESD and state. So they're going to start working harder on those and hopefully be able to showcase those at the Yankton Invite.
I really do wish I had the schedule in front of me, but of course I don't. And ESD is getting closer, right?
It's coming closer. Yeah. It's not till October 13th, but it's here in town for everybody who wants to come.
Well, as fast as August went, basically you may as well say it's right around the corner.
Right, it is.
The fall season just flies by. Not to tell you coaches that you believe you're already this many competitions in. It just seems like it's because you guys are the first ones to really start. Right, as far as fall activities goes.
Right. Yeah, we started practicing on August 1st. Yep,
right away in August. You're the first ones, and you're not the first ones done either. So you just have it seems like the longest season.
No, yeah, it's pretty long. Like it takes the whole first quarter of the school year. So
yeah.
And I've asked you this before, Coach Reichen, but for those, I always try to remember that not everyone listens to every single show each time. But although I want you to, those listening, but you also have girls being borrowed for sideline cheer, right? Both of you do.
Mm-hmm.
And how does that work again?
So
in the past, the sideline cheerleaders have practiced in the morning, so they've kind of left dance team. But the 3 cheer coaches this year decided that all the cheerleaders were going to practice after school. So it works really great. I'll let Madeline talk about it because she's more the cheer guru than I am.
So we decided that trying to get cheer more as a unit and see if we can build the program that way, because it's kind of a rebuilding year for, I would say, the cheer program. And so we have sideline practice go first right after school, or as soon as our sideline coaches could get there. And then competitive practice will start immediately right after. It kind of takes up that warming time away from comp team, but they don't really need to warm up as they've just warmed up and did a whole practice for sideline. We might do a few things to get them back in the groove, stretch back out, and then we hit practice really hard for about 2 hours after.
Yeah.
So.
Sprints.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
They do run.
They do
yeah.
run.
And they say the words at the same time. So their endurance is up there.
Oh yeah, that would actually make sense.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about you just like doing the suicides or whatever.
Oh yeah,
back and forth, but-
I'm sure they feel like that. They hate it. I'm like, well, it's gonna help you in the long run. So let's get to running.
Yeah. So like this week now with the first home football game on Friday night, now our athletes that do both, there's one girl that does all 3. Yeah. But the athletes that do both, they're kind of now it's time. Okay, you're into now the season and how busy and can you balance everything? So
yeah, the schedule seems crazy, especially like you said when you start including home football and then just home athletic events in general.
Yep.
So.
And their schoolwork's coming into play. This week we had lots of talks of I have a test in AP Bio. I have a quiz. I have this. And I'm like, okay, who needs to study on the bus on the way home?
Right.
Those teachers, they never quit.
No, we don't.
No. Coaches, appreciate you coming in for the Coaches Corner. Coach Wells, nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
And hopefully we do this again moving forward. And enjoy the rest of your weekend, coaches. And thanks for coming in.
Right.
And make sure no pizza's left.
Right. And just to remind everybody that Thursday night is the home invite.
Yes.
Here in town on Thursday, September 8th. It starts at 5, and we have 7 seniors between the 2 teams that we will be honoring for senior night. So we'd love to see a lot of people from Yankton come watch.
Thank you for bailing me out. I'm going to go ahead and blame the just fatigue over here.
I'm impressed that you're awake still.
So I appreciate it. Do that again. Give us a rundown one more time of the home competition.
So the home competition is this Thursday. It's September 8th. Starts at 5. There are 14 teams coming for dance and 12 coming for cheer. So it's going to be a great event. We have 7 seniors between the 2 programs that we will be honoring for senior night. It will be their last home per se competition, except they do get the bonus of having ESD here. So they get 2 chances at home, which is a great thing for those girls.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, coaches, so much. And again, thanks for reminding us of the next competition. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, and we'll continue here on the Coaches Corner.
There are a lot of benefits for your small business when you have a relationship with your locally owned and operated The UPS Store. I'm Doug Frederick, manager of the UPS Store of Yankton. Not only do we provide excellent customer service, but we also provide the necessary tools to help your small business thrive. We can help you with everything ing, printing, packing, copying, faxing, freighting, any ing your small business needs, even shredding, notarizing, mailboxing. Every ing for your small business, and of course, shipping. The UPS Store of Yankton, across from Walmart.
Have aches and pains taken you out of your game? At First Chiropractic Centers, we have been helping people get back into their game for nearly 40 years. Whether your game is sports related, or it looks more like gardening, household chores, exercising, or just daily life, if your pain is preventing you from enjoying or participating in your chosen activity, we can help. First Chiropractic Centers, whole health with hands-on healing, with offices in Yankton, Scotland, Hardington, Tyndall, and Wagner.
Investing in your home is easier and more fun when you have local choices. This is Cody Miles, owner of Upper Midwest Garage Door. We offer a wide variety of American-made, unique Clopay garage doors. Free in-home consultations, a digital preview of the new garage doors on your home, and the expert small-town service you deserve. Get started today with your local independent Clopay dealer, Upper Midwest Garage Door. Give us a call, stop by, or learn more at uppermidwestgaragedoor.com.
And welcome back to the Coaches Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. We have a full house of coaches, and we continue on with Yankton Gazelles Tennis with Coach Vanessa Rockney. Gazelles Tennis improved to 10-5 on the season. Victories over Pierre and Mitchell in action on Friday. Coach, good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
It's going well, but some big victories. And now that you moved up into Class AA, those victories seem even sweeter, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Pierre and Mitchell are, so Mitchell is in Class AA with us as well, so we can't get rid of them, unfortunately.
They just tag along.
Yeah, like a leech. And then Pierre, they stayed in Class A, but we'll see them at the ESD conference tournament. And both teams, they're strong this year. So it was a great matchup and a good taste of what the conference tournament's going to look like. So, yeah.
Do you think that Pierre would be moving up at some point?
I would like to think so. Eventually, I think we'll get it to where all ESD schools are in Class AA. But for now, they stayed in the lower class. So.
In the 6-3 victory over Pierre, Nora and Sabrina Kraske, Franny Curry, and Megan Scott each won their singles. Why don't you go ahead and talk about their performance?
Yeah, so with Flight 1 singles, Nora Kraske, freshman, she has been solid all year. She's going to be one of the top players in the state. It's pretty amazing to watch her play, and she had a solid showing yesterday. And then her sister Sabrina at Flight 2, again, one of the top players in the state, and came off solid. She played the Peer 2 who played Flight 1 actually last year for them. So, you don't know what to expect when you see that. Maybe there's a little apprehension going into the match, but Sabrina was very solid in that match all around, just hitting great ground strokes and smart tennis. Franny had a great match as well. She was paired up against a fill-in at Flight 4. So, when the girls see that, they're like, oh, shoot, like maybe the pressure's on me a little more, like I have to win. But Franny, she wasn't shaken up. And again, solid performance from her. And Megan, it was nice for her to pick up a win. She's new to the varsity lineup and still figuring out her game and stuff. So that was a good confidence booster for her.
And then Nora and Sabrina Kraske, Addison Gordon, and Evelyn Lima Zapone.
Yeah.
Every time I mention that with you, I get it wrong. So I apologize out there. But yeah, they won in their doubles play for Yankton. So those teams, they seem to really be hitting a new level of cohesiveness, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, the Kraske sisters, it's everyone out there listening, I highly recommend they come and see a tennis meet, not just because like my players are awesome and stuff, but
they are.
Yeah. Real talk. But there is some solid tennis out there all through my lineup, and the Kratskys are great leaders in that aspect, and they understand the game of tennis. And just a great showing from them. And then again from Addison and Evelyn, that was actually their first match together this season because we've had some issues with injuries and rules as far as getting on court, and it was nice for them to pick up a win as their first match together. So, yeah.
And then edged Mitchell 5-4, another 4 singles victories again from the Kraskes and Gordon and Curry. So basically the same thing as I asked you before, but just overall, just excellent performance from them, just continuing to do what they have to do. And as you said, a doubly victory over Mitchell makes it just a little bit sweeter.
Absolutely. Yeah. So one of our goals when we were going over them at the beginning of the season, one of the girls, Franny, our senior, she was like, to beat Mitchell. Anytime we can get a victory against Mitchell, especially at their home courts, it's a little bit sweeter. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, extra sweet.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, Yankton is contestless until September 10th, but then to travel to Sioux Falls to face off against Roosevelt and Aberdeen Roncalli in a triangular that will start at 9. And what can you tell us about Aberdeen Roncalli? Obviously, you have a history with them.
Yeah. So they actually don't have a full varsity lineup this year. They don't play Flight 1 singles or Flight 1 doubles. So we actually saw them last Saturday in Brookings, and we beat them 7-0. So they have a solid team. They returned a lot of players from last year. I would expect we'll see some competitiveness from them, but they're maybe not as strong as years past.
Well, Coach, good luck in that. Is there anyone else on the team you want to talk about? Maybe actually, I have a question then. Is there any player on the team you'd like to highlight as far as who's made the most strides from where they began the season to where they're at right now? Because we're almost at the Are we at the midway point or kind of
Yeah,
close to it?
yeah. We have 4 weeks left of season. It goes by fast.
Very fast.
Yeah. Well, that's tough to say because there's so many categories that you could evaluate a player on. But overall, man, I would say Paige Mitzel and Franny Corey, they I'm always going to have solid play from my flight 1 and flight 2. But these girls, I think, especially for Paige, she played flight 6 singles last year and she made the jump all the way to flight 3, and she is competitive. Competitive in the standpoint that like she's not going down without a fight, but also like she's won matches on paper that maybe coaches wouldn't predict her to win. And she's shown so much mental growth from this first match of the season up until this point. She's had some tough matches recently, but she has that resilience and that persistence, and I only see it getting better from here. So,
well, Coach, good luck September 10th. Again, that is in Sioux Falls, face off against Sioux Falls, Roosevelt, and Aberdeen Roncalli in a triangular. Make sure if you can head out there, do so, and check out the entire Yankton Gazelles tennis team and the Kraskis, because I'm excited to see them play now as well. Coach, as always, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Bryce. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll take a break and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Bring the crew to Pete's Ranch in Yankton. This is Annie, and we have legendary pizza and chicken just waiting for you on our buffet. Let us know what you're craving, and we'll make it fresh and bring you the first slice. Or let us deliver right to your front door. Your locally owned Yankton Pizza Ranch on Broadway, 665-1222.
It's where life tastes better. Surround them up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch.
Whoa, that's good.
In the lab or up on stage, Mount Marty University has a place for you. From athletes and artists to academics and alumni, together we cheer each other on and work to make a difference in the lives of those around us. Show your spirit at a university that celebrates what makes us different. Schedule a tour at Mount Marty University by visiting mountmarty.edu or calling 605-668-1545.
It's time for a new kind of credit card, one that's with you where you are, wherever life leads. The Evergreen Credit Card by FNBO earns you unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase, every day, every step of the way. For important information and limitations regarding the rewards program, visit fnbo.com/evergreen for complete details. From the great big small bank, ever ready for you to earn more so you can do more. Only with Evergreen by FNBO. Learn more today at fnbo.com/evergreen.
The treatment of eye diseases and injuries requires the best technology, along with the newest surgical techniques. So turn to the experts from Avera Medical Group Wilcoxon Eye Associates in Yankton. We are on the forefront of eye care that will allow you to see clearly and with more comfort. Schedule an appointment with us or learn more by visiting avera.org/Wilcoxon.
Are you looking to get your career moving? Then Truxedo Bed Covers is looking for you. Truxedo of Yankton has immediate openings for first, second, and third shifts and offers weekly pay, full benefits package with paid time off, paid holidays, a team-oriented atmosphere, climate-controlled work environment, and pay starting at $19.75 an hour. If you're ready to join the Truxedo team, visit truxedo.com/careers and apply today. Truxedo is a real truck company and equal opportunity employer.
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Bryce Ladwig. Let's talk Yankton Bucks golf. And Coach, being joined by Coach Brett Simon, should say good morning. All right, we had the Marchand Cup, and we were looking forward to that. And in a blaze of glory, and all of a sudden ended in a tie, 12-12. You need to implement something to make sure that does not happen in the future, because the Bucks had it, correct, going into the contest.
No,
or, excuse me, Mitchell had it.
Mitchell had the cup, and
do they just maintain it now?
They do. Just like the Ryder Cup, whoever has the cup, you have to beat them to get it back, and if there's a tie, they retain it. So it was a great competition. We started out in our first matches, and Mitchell scored 3.5 points, and we scored 2.5. we got a win by Riker Larson and Carter Sherman, and we had ties by the Velick brothers, Henry Homestead, Miles Kraske, and Parker Riley, Evan Ness. But we were down 3.5, 2.5 at that point. In the scramble portion, we got a win by Michael Horning and William Youngbloom, Henry and Miles, and Riker Larson, Carter Sherman, and Kai Cody and Eli Larson. They have their matches. So they beat us 3.5, 2.5 again in those. So we were down 2 points going into the singles matches. And we just told the kids, hey, still close. We're down 2, but, we've got to really try and win these singles matches. And it was kind of crazy. There was no halves in the singles matches. They were either won or lost by our team, but we came out with a 7-5 victory in singles. But, being down 2, we only got 2 back. And with the tie, Mitchell retained the cup, but we got good wins by Dawson Velick, Henry Homestead, Miles Kraske, Parker Riley, Riker Larson, Carter Sherman, and Eli Larson. So all in all, it was a great competition. Came right down to the end. It made it really exciting at the end, but in the end, we'll have to try next year to get that cup back up in Mitchell.
And then Bucks finished 5th at the Harrisburg Quadrangular Spring Creek Country Club yesterday with 325 score. Harrisburg won the competition 293. I'll let you go through your team performance there, Coach.
Yeah, we actually ended up 4th. There was only 4 teams there. So we shot our, a team score of 325, which wasn't too bad. It's not too far off our best score for the year, but I was hoping that we'd maybe get under 320 in that one. But Dawson Velick led us with a 79. He really had it going. He was 1 under par most of the day, and then he had just a really bad hole at the end, and ended up shooting 79, which isn't a bad score, but he was looking at shooting a really good score. But just maybe a little bit of a mental lapse, and I think if he would have things to do over again, he would play the hole a whole lot differently. Henry Homestead shot 81, Miles Kraske 82, and Evan Ness rounded out our counting scores with an 83. Our other 2 varsity scores were Easton Velick with an 87 and Michael Horning with a 91. On the JV side, because we got to play 12 people, so it was good for us. We also got 4th out of the teams that were playing. We did have a really good effort by Eli Larson, who broke 90 and shot 85. And as an 8th grader, that's really good. So, we got some things to look forward to in the future. Riker Larson and William Youngbloom almost got there. They both shot 91. And then we had Kai Cody round us out with a 105. And we also had Carter Sherman and Christian Schaefer playing on the JV side of things. Saw a lot of good things, but did see a lot of things we need to work on. Course management being one of those. And, maybe when we get into trouble, we just got to get out. And, just looking forward to, crazy how we're halfway through the season and we only got halfway to go, but we got some big meets coming up and we're going to try and, improve a little bit. And hopefully we can move up in the rankings.
Well, the next one for the Bucks is Sioux Falls Elmwood Golf Course Tuesday, right? For Quadrangular versus Sioux Falls, Washington, Lincoln, and Brandon Valley. Coach, my favorite question to ask you of all time is always, how does the course play for the Bucks historically?
I think it'll be a good course for us. A lot of these kids have played there a couple of years ago when we went up there and did have some success at it. And I could see some of the other guys that we're going to take have some success. But we got some good competition. Lincoln's always good. Brandon is going to be a team. I got our eyes on them. I think we can, if we play well, we could beat them. But we got to play well, and we got to stay away from some of the big numbers that we've been taking on some holes. And if we manage the course well, I think we could get them. Washington is a team who's, they're maybe down a little bit this year, but I'm going into that one hoping that we can maybe pull out a 2nd place finish out of the 4 teams. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. And I'm going to tell the kids that if we play well, there's no reason we can't. Lincoln's pretty good. So it's going to be hard to maybe get them on a Sioux Falls course, but we're going to go do the best we can. And then we've got the Yankton Invite on Friday, which just about all the teams in the state are going to be here. So it'll be a great measuring stick to see where we're at with all of those teams. Get a chance to play our home course. We're going to be playing at Fox Run, shotgun start at 9 a.m. So just really looking forward to that tournament to see where we're at. And that really gets us into our invitational portion of our season. We played a couple invitationals, but now most of the rest of the way, other than the quad on Tuesday. It's invitationals all the way out.
I need to see if I can get a golf cart and just cruise around Friday morning.
Well, you could. You
Yes,
could
I
probably
could.
get out there. I'm sure they might let you.
All right. Hey, Coach, always appreciate good luck, and always appreciate you joining us here in the Coach's Corner.
All right. Thanks a lot, Bryce.
Let's Coach Brett Simon, Yankton at Bucks Golf. We'll take a break, come back, and wrap up here on the Coach's Corner.
The warmer months can be wonderful times that allow for plenty of fun outdoors. However, while you may be enjoying the outside time, pests and insects may be trying to find their way inside. Eliminating a pest infestation and ensuring they don't return can be tough to do on your own. But with Olson's Pest Technicians by your side, you can rest assured you're fully protected. Locally owned and operated since 1966, Olson's Pest Technicians provides reliable pest control services to residential and commercial properties. Visit 800KILbugs.com.
Think about how people really see you. The kid at the drive-thru just sees a coffee drinker.
Please go forward.
Your local barista sees the person who loves a smiley face in their latte.
See you next time.
It's kind of the same way with insurance. Other insurance companies just see a customer, but a State Farm agent sees more. They see you as a neighbor. Your State Farm agent is here to get to know who you really are, so they can help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Rhonda Westland at 665-4411 today to learn more.
As a proud community bank, Core Trust delivers more than just checking and savings accounts. We invest in the cities and towns where we live and work by volunteering to coach youth sports teams, supporting local charities and the arts with our time and resources. Whether we live in a rural town in South Dakota or a suburban city in Minnesota, it's a place we call home. Core Trust Bank. Raise your expectations.
Member FDIC.
Do you have dry, sore, or irritated eyes? If so, you may have dry eye. At Vision Care Associates, we offer a simple, fast, and non-surgical procedure to treat black glands in your eyelids that can help your eyes to feel comfortable again. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Fieser to find out about dry eye treatment with our newest technology.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
All right. Thanks to all the coaches for joining us here on the Coach's Corner. We had a packed show today between Yankton of Bucks football. We had volleyball. We had soccer. We had tennis. We had competitive dance and cheer. We had golf. And now that I'm doing this, I feel like I need to finish it, but I feel like I forgot someone. And so I apologize to that team or sport. But at this point, I am sorry. We will catch up with Coach Dave Danenbrink before next week's show. Make sure that happens. I appreciate Pizza Ranch providing the coaches with delicious pizza. Annie and the crew do an excellent job there and really really appreciate their support, as well as all of our sponsors making this possible. And of course, those watching on KYNT TV, as I wave to you, we'll be live streaming video of the Coach's Corner from this point moving forward. Seem to have a little bit of a hiccup today with Facebook. So I think it may be on YouTube moving forward. We'll link it on Facebook as always. But make sure you try to tune in and join us and hit the subscribe button on our YouTube page, KYN TV, so that when the Coach's Corner does go live, you can just tune right in there. And of course, you can always listen to us on KYNT. Always appreciate you doing so. And most importantly, I appreciate the coaches taking time out of their weekends and their families, maybe practices, whatever they have going on, to come in here and talk about their programs. I'm very appreciative of that as well. And hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And a lot of events coming up. We went over most of them and that we expected some great competition moving forward for all the programs. But as far as KYN TV is concerned, the next contest will be Watertown at Crane Youngworth Field Friday. And you can catch that on KYN TV. 6 o'clock pregame start with Josh Bolter and myself. And then, of course, 7 o'clock kickoff for the Big Boom and Yankton Bucks football. Looking to go 3-0 on the season and go 2-0 in ESD play. For those that may not know, they defeated Spearfish last night 38-0. I'm Bryce Ladwig. This has been the Coach's Corner. Thank you for joining us.
KYNT, Yankton, FM 1021 and AM 1450, Yankton's home team.